Actually have reason to believe that the Colorado River near Smithville may be cresting as we speak. If anything, over the next couple of hours may finally be working its way back down to flood stage. The reason I say that is because it was forecast to crest right around 33 feet. However, but that was going to be by the early evening hours. Within the last hour or two, I've noticed that the current stage has actually dropped about half a foot almost, again, within the last hour or two. It's not official that it has crested yet, but that's just something I'm noticing with our current observations out there. So we're going to continue to monitor that closely. Regardless, it is still at a major flooding status, which is why those evacuation orders were put in place. Homes easily threatened along the Colorado River between Bastrop, Smithville, and through LaGrange. Speaking of LaGrange, here's some of the latest update. The National Weather Service, they are watching this area very, very closely. This is a brand new update within the last 15 minutes. The river is now positioned at 54.1 feet. At LaGrange, it's forecasted to reach about 54.5 feet by 1 o'clock. So by the time this newscast is over, we're thinking that the Colorado River at LaGrange will be cresting at that time. We're going to be watching, again, that very, very closely. Thankfully, a lot of folks already had taken advantage of that evacuation order 24 hours ago, and it was necessary just because we are still dealing, even though the radar's quieting down, we're still dealing with a lot of that water that's trying to recede somewhere. It's going to spill into that river. It's going to spill into creeks and streams and still cause issues when it comes to low water crossings and those low-lying areas. But I don't think we're done just yet, especially down in southeastern Fayette County. We're looking at another batch here near I-10 of some scattered showers that are trying to make their way in. I do think that's going to be really the scene over the next several hours, off and on batches of scattered showers, maybe even brief moderate downpours, because the bulk of it is pulling and retreating back to the east and to the southeast. Here's that large counterclockwise motion where heavy rain bands still slamming the city of Houston. The heaviest bands are actually over the state line between Texas and Louisiana, with those outer bands extending well into Louisiana now, all along the up and down the Gulf Coast there. The current status with Harvey, again, it's now starting to dip its way back into the Gulf of Mexico. The center of circulation it's been sitting at 40 miles per hour maximum sustained wind speeds for over 24 hours. So holding on to that tropical storm status. I know that box is kind of covering it there, but it does show you how it's looking to come right back inland by tomorrow. Once it does so, it will take all of that moisture, all of those rain chances along with it, hopefully get some of that energy to kick it more inland, and that will be some good news because it will continue to weaken and it will not have the Gulf of Mexico to kind of tap into to still drag in those rain chances behind it like it has been doing. The more it gets inland, the quicker it will finally dissipate and lose all of its energy together. But it's still impacting our rain chances here locally through much of this week, even though it's starting to move out of our neck of the woods. And that's why that flash flood watch is still in place for a few of our counties well off to the east until 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening. But our metro counties have been pulled out of that flash flood watch, thankfully. And there still is an active flash flood warning in effect for Fayette County. This is going to go all the way until 2:45 this afternoon. You're stepping outside right now. You notice those gusts are still picking up. Not anywhere near as high they were over the weekend, but 25 to 35 miles per hour easily. I think they'll finally taper off overnight going into tomorrow morning. Here's a look at our high resolution forecast. It's showing how those off and on scattered bands, a 60% chance that we're still going to have some scattered showers here and there, especially from the north down to the south throughout the afternoon. But we may actually get a quiet little lull through the evening hours, so that'll be some great news. But then that could also, again, pick up by tomorrow afternoon with a 50% chance for some of those off and on scattered showers. The point being that from here on forward, we are still dealing with remnant moisture from Harvey, even though it will start to push and retreat back to the east and to the southeast and eventually out of the state altogether. We still have a lot of moisture left over. Thankfully, I don't think these rainfall totals will dump anywhere near as what folks have seen over the last several days, but it will be something to keep still a close eye on for those who have been flood stricken in our southeastern counties.